This last video is about CPAs, and I am in no way endorsing you firing your CPA. And if you listen to another one of my videos about how I got into this business, it'll be pretty self-explanatory. The fact of the matter is, your CPAs went to school for taxes, not tax incentives. There's over 6 million words in the tax code, and it's over 50,000 pages long. There's no way any CPA can know that. So I want you to know I'm on the CPA's bandwagon. Don't fire your CPA, for the love of Christ. Don't fire your CPA. However, you need to find a tax incentive CPA that does tax incentives. Very different. Our tax incentive CPAs only do tax incentives. We don't do taxes. We don't want to do taxes. They don't want to do taxes. It's not what they do best. They came from the Big Five and they've got decades of experience doing this. But here's what bothers me and really just honestly grinds on me the most. And I've had tons of conversations with CPAs, and they beat me up. They come after me. They just try to just blow me off. And at the end of the day, here's what I learn. And here's what I ask them. How many clients have you helped recover tax incentives using one of the many federal or tax incentives available to businesses? 99% of them can't say anything. And we're talking to them in front of their client. And I'll say, okay, well, I'm going to take that as a none. So you said, Mr. CPA, your client doesn't qualify. Well, here's section 41 of the tax code. You tell me how they don't qualify. Again, there's no answer, because that's not what they do. And I'm not trying to be ugly with them. I'm not trying to be confrontational or be mad or try to make them look bad in front of their client. The fact of the matter is, I get it. I get it on a deep level. I know, because I lost generational wealth because my CPA never told me about these incentives. Don't make that same mistake. So CPAs, at the end of the day, they raise their hand and they go, yeah, well, you're probably right, but I'm not going to refer any of my clients to you. Why? Or I'm going to advise my client not to proceed. Why? And it really boils down to a couple of different things. And I think, and this is the reason for the video, I want you CPAs to know that we're not a threat. We're not trying to take away your clients from you. Again, we don't do taxes, okay? We only specialize in tax incentives. We're more than happy to work with you. We will have communications with you. You can be on every meeting. We'll give you copies of the client's amended tax forms, because number one, you need a copy of that. Number two is the client needs to save a copy for themselves. But we're not a threat. Two, we're not going to scrutinize your work. We don't care. Our tax incentive CPAs don't care. That's not their liability. That's not their fiduciary responsibility or their liability. So they're not going to critique. They're not going to tell your client if they find anything wrong, because it's none of their business to do so. Number three is that, and this is what it bothers me most, why would you not help your clients recover their money? This is their money. Because at the end of the day, here's what's going on. Here's what I find out a lot. I find out that we talk to the business owner about these incentives. They call their CPA. Their CPA say, you don't qualify. It's only for big companies with clean rooms and lab coats, or it's going to trigger an audit, or it belongs to the IRS Dirty Dozen list, or this or that, or this or that. But at the end of the day, who is losing money? Who is literally overpaying their taxes every single year? Is it the CPA? No, it's not. It's the business owner, which is how I lost $4.2 or more million, because my CPA never brought this up to me. And I'm not bashing CPAs. We want to work with you. We're here to help you. We're here to bring an additional value-added resource to your table, so that way the client, your customer, can know what their fair share of taxes are. How do you explain to your clients? Because I had this question every single year with my CPA. My CPA would come back to me and go, oh, Jerry, I got good news and not so good news. Which would you prefer? Oh, well, give me the not so good news. Well, in addition to the $750,000 or $400,000 you've already paid in your taxes, you owe another $250,000. What's the good news? The good news is, Jerry, you have the money in the bank to pay it. And my response would be, Mr. CPA, how is it that these big companies don't pay taxes? And he always got the same response. Well, Jerry, we're doing the best we can. You need to buy another truck, trailer, forklift, shrink wrap machine, racking, something, because we can depreciate that over the course of years. But if you don't, you have to pay money in taxes. And I always knew something was wrong. And every business owner knows this. Mr. CPA, if you're watching this video, I'm telling you right now, Don't think your business owners don't have the same question in their head, because they do. They always ask themselves, what is my CPA missing? How do these big companies not pay taxes? But yet I pay more taxes than the big companies? Well, if you can't give them an answer, or you can't bring an additional value-added resource to your table to support your clients, guess what? They eventually go find another CPA. Trust me, I did it. I've done it. I've built and sold from scratch 3 businesses. I can't tell you how many CPAs I heard the same thing over and over and over again, to the point where after a year or 2, I can't do this. I lived in California. One year, I paid 67% of every dollar that I made in taxes. But yet I hear of all these California companies and corporations that didn't pay a dime in taxes. How do they do that? So you find the business owners eventually get kind of tired of it, not getting the right information, not getting an education for these CPAs, and they simply go, I'm going to go find another CPA. And here's what's happening in America right now. More and more businesses are being educated about these tax incentives. And when they go to you and you ask them about them, and you don't give them an education about this information, they go to their buddy that said, hey, you need to call this company about getting your tax incentive money. And then they call us, and then they start using the CPA that our client that recovered a bunch of money in tax incentives, they start using his CPA. I'm not trying to beat you guys up. I'm not here to battle with y'all. We're not here to disagree with you. We are simply here for one reason and one reason only. We want to help businesses, which, by the way, is the backbone of our economy, recover their federal and state tax incentives, because the big guys are doing this. That's how the game is played. So as my dad once told me, don't hate the player, play the game, right? So these are federal incentives, state incentives are available to a lot of businesses. So Mr. Business Owner, do yourself a favor. Do you need to have a conversation with your CPA about it? Yes. If he doesn't encourage you to take advantage, or at least research this and get educated about it, I can't tell you what to do. I really can't, and I'm not going to, because that's not my job. All I know is from my personal experience, I left generational wealth on the table. Don't make that same mistake. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call, or log on to www.recovermyoverpaidtaxes.com or recoveryouroverpaidtaxes.com. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Hopefully this video was worth watching.